All right. Well, welcome everybody to our coaches meeting tonight. Congratulations, we've made it through a month for return to play. So for those of you who have started right away, we're a month into this, and for those of you joining to want to start up or you just recently started up, I think we've gone through a month and we've learned some things, and I think we're starting to kind of really get into a groove with this. So hopefully you guys feel the same way. We have an agenda we wanted to go through, but obviously this is a time for people to ask questions. I was going to give an opportunity for some of our sports staff to go through the specific sports at some point tonight too. So if you have sports specific questions, that'll be a good part for that. And then we'll also end the meeting with questions. And then as always, we're available for questions outside of the meeting. So if you want to contact any of us directly or the COVID email address, which I know we'll probably post a couple of times so people make sure know that they have that resource. Feel free to reach out to us there. We're collecting questions, doing frequently asked questions, and sharing those out as well on the website. So I just wanted to say welcome and thank you guys all for being here tonight, and thank you all for continuing to work with us as we work through this return to play process and getting people back on the field. So real quick, I know we mentioned this last coaches meeting, but just as a reminder for about the phasing process, we just actually had a call yesterday with some of the with the sports staff to go through a bulk amount of phasing requests. So all programs, when you start up in a sport, you start in phase 1, and that makes your maximum group size of 10, and that includes coaches, volunteers. So it'd be 8 athletes maximum with 2 coaches. And then once you've participated for 2 weeks while following all the safety protocols, you're able to request to move either that individual sport or all the sports in that sports season into the next phase. Again, as long as you've participated for 2 weeks and followed the protocols. And there's we'll send out in the post-meeting notes. There was a question, like all the questions that we ask to be answered are in one easy document for you guys to be able to use as a phasing document. So we will send that out after this meeting with the post-meeting information. And that will give you the questions you need to have answered for the request. And then we will review that as a group of at least 4 of our sports staff members. And we'll come to we'll go review the information you've shared with us, any information that the local athletic director also knows, and then we also will check the local health information to see if there's any spikes in cases, or if it's if the local health officials say maybe it's not the safest to go to a size of 50 or any of that. And so we've been doing that. We got a majority of them this last time around were golfers getting ready for our in-person golf tournament coming up here on the 13th. And then we got I believe we have a bocce program that requested, and a punt, pass, and kick program that requested. So we're starting to see a variety of the outdoor sports that requested to move to phase 2, and I think we have every sport except for cornhole has a program that's in phase 2, I believe, at this point, at least one. So so I appreciate you working with us on those, and I think and we've been doing seeing a lot of them, and it shows us that a lot of people are having really good ideas and are following protocols in practice, and it's making our jobs a little bit easier to be able to approve some of these requests. So, what I wanted to start off the meeting with is to give the opportunity for some members from each of the sports resource teams for these fall outdoor sports to give an update of where we're at for that sport, as well as kind of the what it means for your program to move to the next phase, what other opportunities you have by being a phase 2 program compared to a phase 1 program. So I think we'll start, Nicole, if you're good to go. We'll start with updates from golf, just because that's the first one coming up here. So if you want to just kind of give an update where you're at with golf and all that.
Yeah, perfect. So we are planning an in-person golf tournament. Well, I guess I'll go back for a second. So golf was able to start on August 1st. For agencies that are still in phase 1 and practicing golf, you have the opportunity to do a agency competition. So you will practice and get 3 scores for each of your athletes at your local golf course, and then turn in scores to us. We will division those send back out those divisions, and then your athletes will do one more final round for awards.
Get the sound up here.
And so that will be for phase 1. For phase 2, if your agency advances, you can compete in an in-person tournament, and the registration deadline has actually already passed for that. So we do have a few agencies that will be participating in that on September 13th. So they have already done their 3 qualifying scores, and they will compete in person at the Kestrel Ridge Golf Course, which is typically where the Southern State Tournament is held, on Sunday, September 13th. But if you have golfers that either are or are not participating in the in-person tournament, we want to let everybody know that you can do both. So if you are participating in the in-person tournament, you also have the opportunity to do that agency tournament, and that one will extend a little bit farther. That will go up until October 4th. So just gives you an opportunity to extend the golf season a little bit. Did I miss anything?
I don't believe so. I want to open it up. If anybody has any questions or are specific to golf that may be helpful for the group, we'll watch cameras if people want to raise their hands. Otherwise, you can enter it into the chat. So we might just give a minute for if anybody has any questions for those that Nicole can answer.
Looks like Sharon, which I think is actually Claudia.
Yep.
It's both of us. Thank you. In terms for the golf, the one for this where you have the 3 games, is there a certain that one that you have to turn in?
It'll be the same registration form, and the deadline for that is Sunday, September 13th. So I will have registration forms at the in-person tournament. If you would like to just turn it in that day, we can collect them there. But yeah, it'll just be 3 scores again, and you can extend your golf season a little bit.
So it's basically, it's the same form, so we can fill those out in this tournament to you on the 13th?
Yep.
Awesome, thank you.
Of course.
All right. Any other golf related questions? All right. Then I may turn it over for Jody. Do you want to touch base on punt, pass, and kick?
Yes. So our deadline is still September 23rd for the tournament. We have, I think, one team that has just asked and petitioned to go to phase 2. Otherwise, I think everybody is still practicing in the phase 1. So we're just waiting on that, but there's really not a lot going on. We just finished some videos that hopefully will be posted soon. For those of you who are wondering and are a visual learner, that please don't laugh because I'm in them, but it should help you. Thanks, Michaela, for laughing. But it should help you a little bit. And if you have any questions, let us know. But that's just kind of where we're at, because people are just practicing. And some of the schools, I know that Chilton, and I don't think Jenny's on there, was going to do it, and I don't think they've started practice yet. So there are a number of schools and things that haven't started, but that's
Jody, do you want to touch base about what our competition options are likely to be this season?
Yes. So they could be where you would compete with your agencies, but against people from other agencies, but you would turn in your scores accordingly. That's if we don't get to the big, I think that would be phase 2, phase 1, and a phase 1. Phase 2, if we can get together, for those who would travel, we would still, I think there are 2 that we're planning on, Jason, is that right? Or is it just Nina McQuanico, did somebody say?
No,
or?
Nina, no, punt, pass, and kick would just be Nina. Yep.
Okay. Yep. And so we would do it that way. And again, you would be turning in your scores and competing against people from other regions, but again, with all of our protocols in place. We'd still not do any awards ceremonies, like I think we're all thinking, and in case you didn't know that, but we will not be doing them, but we will mail them out. So if you choose not to compete in place, you'll still have an option, or if you don't want to come to Nina to compete, you'll still have that option to compete and turn in your scores and go through it that way as well. And we are giving awards there too. So I think that's right. I think
Yep.
that's everything, right?
Yep, and we'll touch base. We have a plan for an actual award ceremony outside of that for these events. We'll
In
touch base on that
October,
after we
yeah.
go through these. But the idea is that you get your scores at practice and submit those, and we would actually put you in divisions and give out ribbons for the ones in ribbons and medals for the ones that in practice, and then we would also have an in-person option too. So
Right, and just so you know, we are competing with gender, so male, female will be competing separately, as well as our age groups. So, and I think that's all on the sheet there. But like anything else, we may combine some of them, but that will be determined by numbers. So.
does anybody have any questions about punt, pass, and kick?
Claudia,
Okay, go ahead. Oh, you're on mute.
Hope you're still muted, Clark. There you
Yeah.
go.
okay, sorry. You got a novice over here. For the punt, pass, kick, is there paperwork out that you have to fill out again?
Oh, thank you for
We
asking
haven't seen it
it.
yet.
Yep, we're sending that out early next week to anybody who has expressed interest in punt, pass, and kick. That way we can kind of control knowing who's in phase 1 and phase 2 for those. So if you started practice for punt, pass, and kick, make sure you let your athletic director know if we don't know that you're doing it. But we will be sending that out early next week. There'll be registration forms for both competitions.
Okay, we're having a little problem on our end with our computer, so I might have to call you because I'm only catching half of what everybody's saying. So I might call you tomorrow.
Sounds
Or-
good.
Or Amber, because I did send in my proposals, but Amber said I had to send them in each individually because I sent them all in together as on
Oh, yeah.
one bunch.
Yeah.
So she said I had to do them all individual.
Just you don't have to do them individually, but you do have to have 2 weeks of practice before you can go to phase
Petition,
2
yeah.
for each
Petition.
sport. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. So since you guys hadn't started punt, pass, and kick yet, we weren't able to discuss the petition to move that to phase 2. You'd have to do 2 weeks of that practice first.
I guess I was waiting for the paperwork to see like how we're supposed to do things.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
We'll get that over to you.
Okay,
yeah. But it's not too late if anybody still wants to start doing that. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I missed my window of opportunity, because you did not.
So are there any agencies that if our agency doesn't seem to have anything going, that we can join another agency if, like, my son is interested?
I think we have for punt, pass, and kick. I think we know of 6 or 7 that are planning on doing it if they have not started already.
Are they near Madison?
So Nicole, I don't know if you know that off the top of your head or if you can look it up and touch base with her.
Yeah, I'll touch base with you tomorrow. I think the only
think-
one right now is Reedsburg in Region 6, but I can double check that and let you know.
Okay, I need to probably talk to you about lots of things because I'm being held up because I don't have a thermometer to be able to start anything, so.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
seem to
well,
get a
let's connect
response.
tomorrow.
Yeah, because I can't get a response from our agency manager, so.
And just a reminder too that we also have virtual options for everything, and those registration forms are posted on the Return to Play website right now. So those ones you would do, like for punt, pass, and kick, for example, you would do those 3 skills and submit the scores through the virtual one if you're not able to connect with the program as well. So that does give you an option to still compete and get awards for those as well. So. And that was the same for all 4 sports right now for the fall outdoor sports season are up. So, Michaela and Amber, do you want to touch base about bocce?
Sure. So this past week, we sent out the registration forms to the agencies who said they were interested in bocce or started practicing bocce already. We are asking everyone to complete a BOSAT, which will be the qualifying scores, which are due September 14th. And then we are going to give you until September 26th to complete a new BOSAT, which will be the final scores. And then after that, we'll mail out awards and we'll use the qualifying scores to division. If we are able to get enough agencies to move into phase 2, which currently we only have 1, and there's only about 4 agencies right now that are actually doing bocce, We are considering having like a few agencies come together practice to play a few games. But at practice, you're more than willing to still play games. You don't have to just do BOSAT the whole time. But pretty sure that's everything for bocce.
Great. And I saw Haley on. Haley, are you able to touch base about cornhole?
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect.
We are thinking about having an in-person tournament at Nina as well on the same day as Punt Pass Kick. And so the registration form would be due that same day, September 23rd, and the tournament would be October 10th. Right now, I don't have anyone in phase 2 for cornhole, but we have a few people that have submitted scores for the virtual option. So if you prefer to just do that on your own, all you have to do is play a couple rounds and submit that on our website, and we'll send out awards, I think, around the same time as the tournament if we do have it.
Perfect. And I didn't get that. I guess I didn't open the floor. So if anybody has questions about either bocce or cornhole, we'll open it up for people.
The only thing that came through the chat, Jody, I don't know if you saw that, 707 is interested in Punt Pass Kick.
I responded. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. So the other thing, so again, just a reminder on those things for again, there's the virtual registration forms that was mentioned too. They're online right now. The deadline for submitting your virtual scores is Friday, October 9th. And then we will send out awards the following week. For virtual competitions, we're doing participation awards. For in-practice or in-person competitions, we are doing our standard ribbons and medals for awards. Since award ceremonies tend to gather the largest groups at competitions, we are not handing out awards at competitions like we normally would, but we are going to do virtual award ceremonies for all the sports for the people who compete in in-person events. And so, those ones will be the Tuesday after the either the competition or the submission deadline at 6 p.m. We'll be doing it via Zoom. We're currently in the planning stages, so it'll include a couple of things, but also presenting the awards for each individual that competed in those. So the ideas, so just to give you some ideas of when these are happening, for those who are competing in the in-person golf tournament in Columbus, that the award ceremony, these are again all at 6 p.m., will be on September 15th. For those competing in bocce, the award ceremony would be on September 29th. For those doing golf where you're golfing on your own courses, the award ceremony would be October 6th. Punt, pass, and kick and cornhole would both be on October 13th. And then reminder that we are doing virtual ceremonies as well as activities to kind of wrap up the fall outdoor sports season on October 14th and 15th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're planning on having 4 different types of either programming or activities during each of those nights. So, one on the hour, every hour between 4 and 8. And like I said, it's just a way to kind of wrap up the season. We're working on doing a virtual dance as well as kind of a closing ceremony for the season. And so that's open for anybody to join, whether they competed or not. It's a good way just to celebrate everybody's accomplishment as we're going through this return to play process. And then I will give the other thing will be early next week. There's going to be some updates on the website. So those websites are going to include the rules for the fall indoor sports that we don't have up yet. I believe bowling's already up, but we will have it up for volleyball skills as well as rings. And then and then these videos we'll have some videos that have been made for certain sports, punt, pass, and kick, cornhole, and I believe rings were all created. And we'll be posting those on the website as well early next week. We're working with our marketing department to be able to do that all in one swoop. And again, this past week, all the virtual registrations are up. as well as all the latest updates for any of the sports information for the fall outdoor sports has been up too. So that's kind of what's coming up next week on the website. So please check out the Return to Play website or page on our website. I don't know, Brittany, if you can link it in the chat, if that's going to be easy enough to do. And then the other reminder is that we're starting to kick off the Big Red Raffle as a fundraiser. So selling raffle tickets, and agencies sell tickets, and there's a kickback for fundraising similar to Polar Plunges. I believe it's, I believe it's, is it 25%? John, do you know that? Yes? Okay. And so that just kicked off. Oh, 15? All right.
Yeah, I think it's 15. I can look that up really quick.
I apologize. Yeah. So that's just starting off now. So if agencies still want to request tickets, I believe you go through Mark Wolfgram. He had sent out an email for all agencies as well. And then we also have them at our regional offices currently.
It's 15% from Zoe, an extra 10% from Jason. No, it's
Perfect.
15%. Yeah, it is 15%.
Sorry for the misinformation. 15%. Thank you guys for following up. So that was posted on the social media as well as emailed out. So if anybody has any questions, that's what's going on from a fundraising standpoint. So I think that's my time. Brittany, if you want to touch base about what we got going on with fitness and training.
Yeah, so just one quick reminder, I think you might have skipped over this, Jason, so I'll catch it. Any unified partners in any of the sports must be Class A because you're practicing with our athletes, and also having the COVID release form on file, which is true of actually any participant, athlete, coach, volunteer, unified partner. So don't forget those COVID release forms, and unified partners, get those Class A's in, which is all 3 pieces of the puzzle. Get those in so that we can make sure that you're able to get registered for your events. And then just a quick training reminder, a couple things. One, there is that training, a COVID training on the NFHS website. We'd like to have one person from every agency complete that. Just a nice little reminder on COVID symptoms, things to look out for, precautions, things like that. So check that out if you haven't. I'll send the link in the follow-up email just so you have it again. Also, I'm not sure if anybody's utilizing this or not, but I just wanted to point out there is a virtual training calendar on our website. It is optional, but it's just a nice resource for coaches that aren't meeting in person. I guess you could use it too if you are meeting in person, but just kind of gives you a nice idea of some things that you can offer your athletes while you're not able to see them. So just check that out. There's some nice drills and things on there as well. Just a reminder, I think I mentioned this on the last call, but there is a family health forum. It was a 2-part series, and one actually just happened this Tuesday, but you can still catch the second part, which is next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I will send out the registration form again in the follow-up email. So if you're interested, the topic for the second session is going to be fitness at home. And things you can do at home with no equipment with your athletes. Some other things coming down the pipe. So I just, if you aren't a member of our Fitness at Home Facebook group, I just announced that we'll be doing a 5K training plan for athletes, but honestly, anybody could do it, which lines up perfectly with our virtual run series, which is happening in October. So again, I'll send more information on this in the follow-up email, but please share with your athletes. There's different options as far as running, biking, walking, and wheelchair. And then there's also 4, 6, and 8 week training plans. So if someone already has a good fitness level, they can maybe do a shorter program, but if they might need more time to get there, they could pick one of the longer ones. And then again, ideally, I created a team for the virtual run series, so they can join my team and we can virtually run together or walk or bike, and do that to kind of celebrate the training that they did. Another thing, kind of on a similar note, Sona is coming out with a fitness challenge.
It's called the Stride Challenge, which will start October 1st. There's a few different levels. It's either running or walking or wheeling a certain number of miles in a certain amount of time. They haven't quite released the official paperwork on that, but when they do, I will definitely send that out. So I encourage anyone and everyone to join in, and there'll be some fun prizes and things along the way. Again, I'll send out more information on that when I have it. And then for the fall indoor season, we've talked about the sports offered being bowling, volleyball skills, and rings, but we will also be adding a fitness competition. So this is kind of separate from all the other fitness challenges and things that are going on. It'll be run just like a fitness or just like a sport competition. It just will be fitness exercises. The thing that I like about it is it's going to be based on athletes' improvement. So there'll be a pre-score and a post-score, and actually a mid-season and a final score. So that from the beginning to the mid-season, we'll be able to division on that improvement. And then from the mid-season to the end, we'll be able to award. So they're basically competing with themselves, which is really cool. And lastly, for those that have expressed interest in SoFit, I haven't forgot about you. I'm still getting some information from SOI and all the data that will be part of that program. So hopefully I have a training actually next week about it, and then I'll get more information out to you. So if anyone is interested in SoFit and hasn't expressed that in the past, please reach out to me. You can either reach out, phone, email, reply to the follow-up email, either way, I'd love to talk. Lots of fitness stuff going on. So if anyone's interested in any type of fitness, I'm your girl. Any questions with fitness? I see a few things in the chat, but I don't know.
I haven't seen any fitness stuff yet. We can follow up on some of the questions.
I don't think there's any questions on fitness, so yeah, feel free to.
Amber, I'm going to put you on the spot. Somebody had asked about if we could touch base about volleyball. Do you want to kind of give a recap of what's going on with volleyball skills, knowing that's in our indoor season?
Sure, sounds good. So along with all the other sports, we have a virtual option for people to do. On top of that, we have 3. Our goal is to get to phase 2 so we can be at the Sting Center like we normally do with the team. But we will do skills this year there. There are 3 different skills. I don't think it's posted on the website, the rules or any of the registration or score sheets. There's a VSAT that we want you guys to fill out. So it's the 3 different skills, and then they have 10 attempts for each skill that you will write down. There's, I have a piece of paper right here that has everything. So this is what you will submit. And then I've got another one that would make it user-friendly for everybody. So that again will be posted on the website.
And as a reminder that the fall indoor sports rules will get up early next week. Like I said, they're ready to go, and then the time frame for getting it up on the website is early next week.
Correct. And with us being hopefully on November 7th in the Falls at the Sting Center, the qualifying scores are due to me by October 23rd.
And with us still being in the fall outdoor season, I do want to remind people you can start practicing for the fall indoor sports season whenever you'd like, especially if your goal is to get to phase 2 and have being able to have more people at practice sooner or by the time we start league bowling. So if you have a bowling program and you want to get to a point where you can have 50 people at practice, it's phase 2 or whatever's, whatever your county's maximum is for that. You can start bowling practices at this time in phase 1 with 10 people at those practices to move into phase 2 by the time when you would want to have a whole practice, or a whole agency practice under the phase 2 guidelines. So same thing with volleyball skills and same thing with rings. Again, the information for those will be on the website next week, but you can definitely start working towards starting those practices if that's something you're interested in doing. It looks like 705 is interested in volleyball skills, so if you have that on your list. All right, Mike, do you have a question for the group?
Yeah, I do. In regards to your protocols and guidelines with the fall indoor sports season for the bowling, in regards to that, I'm working with Michaela to work with the temporary agency to do the bowling league in person. Am I allowed to do that? Is the rules?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. So for just like for all this, and that was kind of the question I was asked earlier, that if you have people interested in participating that aren't and their agency is not offering the sport, I would connect with your local athletic director, and we can see if we can connect people with a nearby agency that is offering sports. Granted, this is all depending on what they're offering and what numbers they're comfortable with. But yes, the best route would be to be working with your athletic director. So be working with Michaela.
Yep. Thank you. That's all I
have. Kate asked, is volleyball individual or through agency? So the idea would be that you could do things. There's a virtual option for you to do individually. Or if you wanted to go to the competitions, it would be through an agency. So you would register as an agency like you would for any of our other tournaments. Does that answer that question?
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep. And then what are the chances of being allowed into phase 2 if your county is considered high by the health department? So the answer to that question, we are looking at the county information, and one of the things that we look at is it has a risk factor for having gatherings of you can plug in a certain size. So we look at right now we look like at the risk of a group of phase 10 and a group of 10 people together and a group of 50 people together and monitor the risk that they have using that. There's a helpful chart with that. So we'd utilize some of that information. So I would say we would definitely evaluate 831 as Hartford. We'd evaluate what's going on in the county. But I think right now there's not a lot of differences in any of the counties between 10 people and 50 people. And so it's been a little bit easier to advance to the second phase as long as the protocols are being followed. But again, that's why we're doing this on an individual basis. So I would say it's probably will probably be likely, and especially we keep following things, but unless there's an outbreak or something like that, then that would deter something in your local area. Team volleyball, we are not offering team volleyball this year. We're doing just volleyball skills, and the reasoning behind that is to minimize contact between contact with the ball between people from other agencies. We can minimize some of the contact risk by doing volleyball skills compared to team volleyball. So just for this year, as we're going through this return to play, we just didn't feel like the risk was worth taking for doing team volleyball. So that's why we're doing volleyball skills this year. So, and I think Brittany answered that as well. Sorry.
Okay.
Try to catch up on the chat as we talk. So, yeah, so no, this is also the time for everybody has any general questions for the group. Please feel free, like I said, either raise your hand, unmute yourself, enter in the chat. That's kind of why we're here to answer some of those questions. So.
Jeff, want to unmute?
Well, this is my paperwork in. But yeah.
I know your mom's there, but it's hard to hear her. Can you turn the computer to her?
Let's know if you guys receive his paperwork that I sent in.
I still struggled to catch that, Jason.
I think received his paperwork. Did we get his COVID-19 waiver?
Right.
I think is what they're asking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sam, do you recognize Jeff? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Applach?
I can look it up. If you want to type in your email address to me, I can let you know.
All right. Any other questions? That just reminded me though, on a similar note, so Sam has been sending out the athlete rosters for those that have turned in the COVID waivers. I've been receiving all of the coach and volunteer COVID waivers, and it's actually a different database that we enter them into. So I'm working on running a report for that, which will include then in Sam's emails. So I know you haven't been seeing your list of coaches that have turned in COVID waivers, but I'll have that for you. Maybe not by Wednesday, because we still have to figure out how to run that report. It's just a new thing that we had to put into a database, so we're still kind of figuring it out, but at least by the following week, we'll have something for you. But you can always feel free to email me or email the COVID email and ask. It's fine.
Right, and I apologize, I didn't make that clear. When I send out the COVID waiver spreadsheet, I don't enter coaches, so you'll only see which athletes and unified partners have them entered. And sometimes I can't enter a unified partner COVID participant release form if they're not a Class A. So be sure to be checking your volunteer rosters. And I believe they're still on the back end. Or you can send me an email and ask.
All right. Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for joining us again tonight, and I appreciate the discussion and working with everybody. Again, our next meeting we're doing every other week, so the next one will be on the 17th at 7 p.m. But like always, if you have any questions between now and then, please let us know. We'll also be kind of gathering those questions, and we can share any questions that we come in that pertain to the group before when we have the next meeting. So thanks again for your partnership in this, and like I said, we look forward to seeing people as we get to be able to get and do more as this progresses. So
Savannah, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm moving the 15th, and I am a coach for Washera County, Wautoma or Washera County, you would say. But I'm going to be moving. Is there anywhere you guys know where something like that is in New London area? Or away from New London?
Yeah, there is an agency in Wapaka. So if you want to reach out to me via email, I'm on the internet, and then I can get you all the information you need and get you hooked up with that person.
Your email, or can you tell me your email?
Telling you my email would take me a day and a half. It's long. No, I'm kidding. I can send it to you in the chat, I guess, right?
All right.
Are we staying on that long? I don't even know.
You are.
I just wanted to take 2 minutes to say thank you to the staff. West Madison area Special Olympics golf team has been off to a roaring start, and Nicole, you have been with us every step of the way, and I just want to let you know how much we appreciate it as the coaches, as well as unified partners, as well as our athletes. I mean, they're just thrilled to be out on that golf course. So thank you. Looking forward to Columbus.
You weren't joking. It is long. Holy cat.
Try adding the last name Wigington to that. I also want to just say, because I can't go without saying anything, no, that I will second that what the staff has done has been pretty tremendous. And so they've worked really hard to get us to where we're at. And we know that we still have a long way to go. But also big thanks to all the agencies working with us. I mean, this has been a very trying time for everybody. And there's a lot of questions that are still unanswered. And you know, things that we don't know, but we're trying to do the best we can to kind of get the athletes in a situation where they're safe and doing some activities. So it's really been a true collaborative effort from everybody, from our staff to the agencies and to all the coaches and parents that are out there doing stuff. So good job, you guys. I'm done.
Yeah, you lasted longer than the 5 minutes we predicted, so that's perfect. All right, thanks again, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the 17th. And then, like I said, as always, we're available for questions, or feel free to reach out to the COVID@SpecialOlympicsWisconsin.org email. So, all right, thanks, everybody. Have a great night.